Hey everyone, Michael here. You ready to join me for a nice meditative, relaxing ride? We've got some beautiful music on right now. This is going to be our warm-up music. So if you're ready to ride, let's go ahead and jump on our bike. Let's just go ahead and get ourselves settled on the bike. Let's tune in with our position a little bit. One of my favorite things to do starting a ride is to sit up nice and tall like this and just let my arms hang down to the side, relaxing my shoulders, letting my spine take the weight of my upper body, settling down into the sit bones on the saddle. See if you can take a couple of beautiful deep breaths and feel your belly expand as you do. And then just notice your legs as they're making these beautiful circles. See if you can notice the muscle engagement in these legs as you're doing this. The idea here is that we just start to come into our bodies a little bit. Remember, we want to use our cycling as a time to really be present in the body, to tune into the muscles working, to quiet the mind, find a little oasis of peace and calm in our busy lives, stressful lives. We can use our cycling as a moving meditation. That's our goal. So let's adjust our resistance. Let's make it as light as we possibly can while still having the brake touching the wheel. For those of you that don't know, I have what's called a freewheel bike. It's not like your regular spin bike. The wheel isn't attached with a locked gear to the pedals. So all the movement you see in my muscles and my legs is me. It's not the wheel moving my legs around. If you have a regular spin bike at home, Schwinn, Geyser, Peloton, whatever, those are fixed gear. So unless you have a little brake on there, it's possible for the wheel to be propelling your legs instead of you propelling the wheel. So be aware of that. We'll talk more about that during our class today. But one of the beauties of a freewheel bike like this is that it forces you to make that whole circle. Forces you, right? Nothing is propelling me around. And that's why I like it so much. It's just like a bike you ride outside. But if you have a fixed gear spin bike, that's fine. You can pedal them beautifully as well. You just have to be a little more conscious of it. Okay, so let's check our hands on the bar. Are they nice and relaxed? Maybe wiggle your fingers. Check your elbows. Make sure they're slightly bent. Just slightly bent. Your hands are resting nicely on the bars. Your shoulders are away from the ears. And your spine is at a nice neutral position. You're not arched one way, and you're not arched the other way. It's a very neutral position with your weight settled into the saddle. And your hands just light on the handlebars. Practice feeling that position. Now if you want, and I encourage you to try this if you're comfortable with it, close your eyes and see if you can feel the different parts of your legs working in the different parts of the pedal stroke. Really tune into that feeling. All right. Take another deep breath. Feel your belly expand. Let's accelerate our legs. Now I'm going to add just a tiny bit of resistance because mine is a little bit too loose. with the freewheel. And let's bring our legs up to 90 RPM, keeping your resistance as low as you can get it while still having some brake on the wheel. Now, if you have a computer on your bike, you can always use that to find 90 RPM. But I much prefer that you feel for it. Much better mind-body practice. Listen deeply to the music. Feel for that rhythm that's there. Line your legs with it. Go ahead and check your computer now if you'd like. See if you're close to it. I want us to reach down, add a little resistance in now, just enough that it starts to challenge the muscles of the legs. This isn't super painful, this isn't super hard, we're just adding a little bit of work in as we go. Meanwhile, check your shoulders, your hands, your elbows. Notice now your breath is starting to pick up a little bit. That's perfect. It's just what we want. Good. Now you can see my upper body. I can see it in the video there. We want to keep the upper body stable and let the hips move independently of the upper body. So one of my favorite things to do is the champagne glass trick. Could you hold a champagne glass? Hand it to your friend without spilling it. That's what we're looking for. Nice, relaxed upper body. The motion is being generated from the hips down. And now you'll be able to feel your muscles engaging in the legs. See if you can feel that scraping through the bottom part of the pedal stroke. Feels like we're scraping mud off the ball of the foot. That'll engage the hamstrings and the calves. Making sure you do a nice full circle pedal stroke. Yeah, I feel my breath picking up. Keep your breath going from the belly. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Stay with this rhythm. If you feel like your legs are hurting a lot right now, take some resistance out. We're just bringing warmth, blood flow into the muscles of the legs. We're tuning into the body, bringing the heart rate up a little bit. That's our goal right now. Just for 30 seconds, add in some resistance. Bring a little bit of challenge into the muscles of the legs. Slight discomfort now. Notice the effect of that on your breathing. Notice if any tension crept into your body with that. If so, release it. Shake an arm out. Now come back to the lower resistance we had before, but stay at the rhythm. What did that do to your breathing? Maybe starting to sweat a little bit now. Perfect. Good. Now slow your legs down. Keep the resistance the same and just slow your legs down. Way down, like mine. Notice what your breathing is doing. Maybe you can feel your heart beating in your chest. I can. I'm feeling much more awake and alive now. So we can reset. We can do a reset here. Release the shoulders again. Shake out the arms. Now we left the resistance the same from that previous song. We were doing 90 RPM. This song is 100 RPM, but we have the same resistance. That's more work. Same resistance turned more times per minute, more work. It'll feel harder. You ready to try it with me? Let's come back to our handlebars before we speed up. Check your hands, nice and light. Wiggle your fingers, shoulders away from the ears. Elbows are slightly bent. In 3, 2, and 1. Accelerate your legs to 100. Now you're going to notice that you might want to start bouncing in the saddle at this higher pedal speed. If you are bouncing in the saddle, I want you to settle your weight. One of the ways to do that is to take the tension out of the upper body. The way to do that is release your elbows, soften the hands, have a nice neutral spine. My breath is absolutely picking up now. If you'd like, close your eyes and just count the rhythm in your head. It's a beautiful practice to be in tune with the body. Stay with me just a little bit longer now. If your legs really, really hurt, you're welcome to take a little resistance out. I want you to be able to do this. It's a bit of a challenge, I know. But if you're losing the rhythm of the song, take some resistance out. All right. In 3, and 2. And 1. Good. Take your resistance way down. Slow your legs again. You see what I've done here? I've just aligned my leg speed to the rhythm of the song. But we have light resistance now. Here's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask us to dig deep. While we hold this rhythm, we dig deep by adding resistance that causes us to doubt our ability to stay with the effort. This is digging deep. This is how we learn about ourselves. This is also how we get in really good shape. You ready to join me? In 3, 2, 1. Add resistance in that you don't think you could hold for 5 minutes. Adjust, and think about holding this for 5 minutes. I want it to be something you feel you couldn't do. We will not do it that long, I promise you. But we want to dig into that well a little bit right now. Stay with me just a little bit longer. Okay, bring your resistance all the way down. All the way down. Slow your legs down, sit up tall like I am. Notice what your heart rate's doing. Are you sweaty? I am. Let's come on back to our handlebars. Let's re-establish our good position on the bike. Again, starting with the hands. And just allow your legs now to align with the rhythm of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3. You got it? Now, we're gonna make this feel like we're on a steep hill. So let's add in the resistance now that makes us really question our ability to withstand this kind of effort. You might feel you start to grimace a little bit. I did. And I immediately noticed that, and I just let it go, carrying no tension. That's the goal. Upper body's completely relaxed. And at this point, because we're into what feels like a hill, you'll notice the glutes pushing you over the top. You'll feel that through the heel of the foot at the noon. It's 12 o'clock straight up position in the pedal stroke. You see my hips rocking ever so slightly? That's the glutes. I know you can hear my breathing picking up. We won't stay here long. So stay with the effort. All right, reduce the resistance down to very light, but keep your legs turning. How'd that feel? If you have a heart rate monitor on, check it right now. That kind of effort will get you up into 85% of your maximum heart rate range. If you follow along with that. It's okay if you don't. I like to go by feel. Everything is about feel for me. So go ahead and take a drink of water now. We're just pedaling lightly with very light resistance. And if you can, allow your legs. Just find this rhythm on their own. No thinking, just being. Have your computer, we're doing about 84 RPM right now. Light resistance, so easy effort. Next, we're going to move into an effort at this pedal speed that you don't think you could hold for 2 minutes. Because remember, we're all in different shape. We're all in different levels of fitness. I won't tell you to turn the knob a half turn or a quarter turn because that's not going to tell you anything. Half turn on your bike would feel different for you than it would for me. A half turn on any bike feels different from any other bike. So I want you to go for a feeling. First, establish your rhythm. And now, add in resistance that you don't feel you could hold for 2 minutes. You see me bite my lip? Yep. That means I just put in some heavy work. And I'm relaxing now. So ideally, it will not look like I'm working very hard. But you can tell I am by looking at my hips. You can see the bike, right? See the bike torquing? That's how much power I'm putting out with the muscles in my legs. But my upper body looks pretty relaxed, doesn't it? But now you hear my breathing picking up. Can't hide that. All right, take it down to light resistance. Hold your rhythm. What that do to your breathing? A good little thought experiment for us to do together is if I had to, how much longer could I have held that? If I absolutely had to. Now remember, we're going for resistance we couldn't hold 2 minutes. I don't think there's any way I could have held that another minute and a half or so. Or a minute and 15 seconds. I don't think there's any way. And that's based on feel. I added the kind of resistance that made me feel that way. Okay, check out my leg rhythm. Align yourself to the rhythm. We're going to go into a hill. We're going to come out of the saddle. If you're new to Revo Cycle riding, this is going to be a revelation to you. Because when we come out of the saddle, we add massive resistance, as if we've just hit a super steep hill. That's how you get fit on a bike. First things first, add resistance so it feels like we're climbing in the saddle. Remember that feeling of the hips having to push you over the top? Using the glutes, I want that feeling now. Feel it in the heel of the foot as you push over the top. Get your rhythm. Now you might notice where I just put my hands, right? I do this on all climbing. I always put my hands to the middle on hills. And the reason for that is that it gets my back just a little bit straighter. And when my back's a little bit straighter up, I can more effectively push through the hips. It's a secret trick to climbing on a bike. Okay, are you ready? This is a Revo Cycle style out of the saddle. We're not standing on this resistance, we're adding so much that we really can't pedal it seated anymore. And then we stand on top of it with our body weight. You ready? 3, 2, and 1. Crank it up, hold your rhythm, rise out onto it. You should feel your body weight transferring through the glutes as you step into it. Your hands stay light on the bars. Keep on breathing. Now come back to seated climbing. Now come back to light resistance, back to flat road. Ooh. On a scale of 0 to 10, out of breathness, I would put my out of breathness right now at 8 or 9. If that was new to you, just feel free to explore those levels of resistance that are so heavy you can't pedal seated and you must stand up into it to use your body weight. That's climbing out of the saddle on a bike. Just as a guess, it's an effort that you shouldn't be able to do more than a couple minutes. And I know, maybe in your spin class you've stood for 20, 30 minutes. And the reason you can do that is because you're doing it with no resistance and you're just following with gravity and the flywheel's pulling your legs around. So this is different. This is standing into resistance so heavy that you can't turn it seated. It's a very different thing. So good for you. All right, this is our last working song for this workout. Let's come up to 90 RPM. Light resistance. Settling the shoulders. Away from the ears. Elbows are relaxed. Hands are light on the bars. This is beautiful flat road pedaling speed here. And I want us to finish off by imagining we're on a beautiful flat road somewhere. Pick a road you know, one that you know really well. If you feel like it, you close your eyes. We're going to visualize being on that road. We're going to visualize shifting gears. 2 or 3 gears as we hold this pedal speed, which means the bike accelerates, which means we're working hard. But this is our last effort of the day. In 3, in 2, and 1. Shift 2 to 3 gears. You know how that would feel on a bike. Get to a point where you're finding this challenging. Let's say you couldn't hold it 5 minutes. Maybe 4, that's the range we're looking for. So adjust. And now we're going to just settle in beautifully. Continuing to breathe from a relaxed belly. Breathing. That's deep diaphragmatic breathing. Try to keep away from the chest breathing. Pull the air in from the diaphragm in the belly. So we've only got a few seconds left. You can add more resistance now if you'd like. Okay, come back down to light resistance. Beautiful, beautiful work. If this is your first time doing a RevoCycle class online, welcome. Bunch of different things, right? No half turn, quarter turn, full turn, it's all feel. Deep focus on the upper body being relaxed and in good position. Driving through the hips. The champagne glass trick. Standing so hard that you can only do it for a minute or two. It's all new to you. So feel free to practice all of that. This is mindfulness. Based cycling. This is moving meditation. Oh, how's your breath doing? Pay attention to it as we start to cool down, pedaling lightly and slowly. Pay attention to your breathing as it slows. Just another way to tune into the body. If you can, take a little more resistance out. Remember, don't go so far that you're not pedaling with any resistance on your spin bike. Keep a tiny bit in. And slow your legs down some more. And I want you to notice right now how amazing you feel. Notice your sense of ease, your sense of accomplishment. Maybe a stress reduction. Maybe a little boost of happiness and joy. That's the goal. That's our goal. That's what we're focusing on. Those are immediate, intrinsic rewards. And if we focus on those, we will build a lifetime of happy, healthy movement, and then you end up being fit. But it's not the primary goal. You just end up being fit because you learn to love to move, and you love the feeling it gives you to be present in your movement. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, how's your breathing doing now? My legs are slowing down even more. I have my resistance way down now. I'm going to sit up and keep my legs moving. I'm going to let my arms just hang by the side again. And now, if you feel like your breathing is slowed down to maybe 1 or 2 on a scale of 0 to 10 of out of breathness, let's just let our legs come to a stop. If you're still breathing hard, keep your legs moving until your breath comes down to a 1 or 2 on a scale of 0 to 10. let's just take a couple of beautiful, intentional breaths from the belly. Feel it expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale. Notice again these beautiful feelings. This is how you build a lifetime of exercise. Paying attention to this right here. I promise you. That's how you do it. It's the athlete's way. It's the athletic mindset. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to stretch on your own. I would like for you to do some quadriceps stretches like this, and then do some hamstring stretches using the top bar of the bike or the handlebars or the seat if you're more flexible. And as you do those, breathe intentionally. Don't bounce, just hold steady state breathing. 20-30 seconds each. I'll give you a couple minutes of music to do that. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to follow us. Give us a thumbs up. We have a PayPal account down here if you want to donate for our classes to help keep us going. We appreciate it. Thank you. See you again soon.